Hi, we're Hemlock Chaser, and this is Waupaca Local Live. the first time I've sweat on a show in a while.
Okay, I'm just going to start out by asking about the name of that song. Was that the Rye Whiskey song?
Yeah.
All right, okay, and what's that about, Rye Whiskey?
Well, actually, Finn here wrote that one.
Okay.
It's just going to hell. That's really all I got to say about it.
Seems like a theme here.
All right, I'm going to have Chris lead us off because we actually want to know more about how you guys all got into the music realm. And so we've got 4 people. We're hoping that you guys are all comfortable talking about your history and your training and yada yada. So Chris, go ahead.
Right. Well, I've seen Silas play by himself on a stage with a guitar for an hour. I mean, just playing random songs that I didn't know, old stuff. So you're steeped in music. I know your family has a musical history. Your mom was in Irene's Garden. I don't know about anything else about your family, but I know that Sheila here was also is maybe still in Irene's Garden.
Yeah.
So you have a musical history there as well. But maybe you could just describe how you got to be playing live music right now. Like what started it?
And go way back to when you picked up your first instrument.
Yeah.
And tell me about your piano teacher and your trauma.
Wow. I think it all kind of started because of my parents. My dad was in Sloppy Joe, which is a local bluegrass band, and then my mom was in Irene's Garden and Electrics. And actually, I've known Sheila for a long time because she played in Irene's Garden, but I was just dancing at that point. I wasn't really playing or anything.
Yeah, I think I met, the first time I remember seeing Silas, he was probably like 12.
Oh, okay.
That would have been like about 20.
Okay, funny. I'm gonna stop us right now because we need to actually name everybody. So.
Oh, Silas.
I'm Finn.
I'm Luke.
I'm Sheila.
Okay. All right. So Sheila, you saw him as a kid, and now he's grown up.
Yeah.
And now
I wouldn't say that. Man.
Well, right. I mean, that's generous, but
We're all grown up.
That's a good way to be.
All right. So Silas, how did you start playing? Just because it was always music at your house, so you just always had a guitar, or?
I started playing piano when I was like 5 or 6. My mom put me through piano lessons at the university.
Okay.
And then I got bored with that, and then I thought, guitar seems pretty easy, which I was wrong. It's still learning. But, I was just kind of always around music growing up, being in the bluegrass scene and everything, which is actually how I met Luke. Our dads jammed, if you call it that.
Nice.
Yeah, they knew each other.
Yeah.
Okay. So Luke, how did you start playing bass? Is that your first instrument, or?
I tried a couple other instruments, and I was really bad at all of them. And then the week after I graduated high school, there was a guy selling this weird bass up in Rhinelander. And I picked it up, and I'm like, I guess this is what I got to play now.
Oh my gosh.
And here we are now.
Here you are now. It sounds pretty awesome. I'm glad we put that mic in front of it. Now I can hear what you're doing.
Yeah.
All right, Sheila, where did you start out learning? You're quite proficient on the violin, by the way.
thank you. I was really fortunate to have parents who started me on the violin when I was like 6 years old.
Okay.
And I actually grew up taking lessons in this tiny cabin from a Suzuki teacher up in the Northwoods at Bayfield.
Really?
Yeah, for
Wow.
about 6-7 years I did that. Yeah.
Did she teach you Suzuki method?
Yeah,
Okay.
she did the Suzuki method.
Good.
Yeah, Mary Bondison was her name.
Okay.
Is her name.
When did you transition over to the dark side?
Well, I did a lot of classical music. I actually started going to college for classical music performance, but that wasn't quite in the stars for me. So
Not your cup of tea.
yeah, about when I was 20, I started to really explore the local music scene, and that's how I met Sai's aunt, Sarah, at a horseshoe show, and she invited me to play with Irene's Garden, which is how I kind of got roped into their
It was
whole
at a
family.
horseshoe
show. And now I get mistaken for a ludeman, and I think it's the
That's
best.
hilarious.
Wonder where that comes
You're an
from.
honorary ludeman.
Yes.
And what about you, Finn?
I'm one of the ones that didn't have any family members playing music. So I'm the first one. I'm the only one. I started playing violin in late elementary school. No, I was not good at it. I played it until I graduated. I started playing electric bass around 14, and I started playing mando I want to say my junior year of high school. And so my instruments are bass and mando.
Okay. They all kind of go together, though, with the tuning and stuff.
It's all strings.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. All right, so let's
Want to play some more music?
let's have another
Sure
song
thing.
because we want to make sure we.
Yeah.
What's the next
time.
song?
I'm gonna sing one I wrote.
Okay, what's it called?
It's called The Wolfman. I can't.
Okay.
He's a wolf, man, baby, oh. Find you in a ditch when your liver's big, oh. The wolf man waits for you, dripping down the alley in them broken down shoes. When it's late at night and your days been a week, Mondays in hell winning at a losing streak, and your bones are tired, your heart is broken, sees you slipping past into an early coffin. The Wolfman, baby, oh. Finds you in a ditch when the liver's big, oh. The Wolfman waits for you, tripping down the alley in them broken down shoes. Numbered, knows this for sure. He watches as you kiss your wife and walk out the front door. You sit in your car, screaming to the abyss. I didn't want my life to turn out like this. It's the Wolfman. Ow, the Wolfman. Ow, the Wolfman. Ow, the Wolfman. Ow. stepping down the alley in them broken down shoes.
It always gets them.
Oh, man. Welcome back to Waupaca Local Live with Hemlock Chaser. And we're going to have another great question from Chris here for you guys.
After we talk about that song, was that something that you wrote, Sheila?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wrote that.
And is it about a Wolfman? You really caught us off guard. We thought that the song was over, and then it kept going. It was very dramatic.
Thank you.
Awesome. No, that was awesome.
Glad it worked.
Good. It did.
Yeah, that's a that song. It's got a few different things that brought me to writing it, but yeah, one of the biggest themes in that song was actually sleep paralysis. My first experience with sleep paralysis. So.
Oh.
And the Wolfman was that sleep paralysis demon. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, it's a pretty eerie tune for me to write. It kind of gets me every time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's one of the things I wanted to ask, and we try to ask some of our guests about songwriting. And is there a process you go through? Is there something you think about? How does it happen for maybe each one of you if you do it? You obviously do it. Well, how does it come to you, or how do you get started?
I do write a lot about like dreams I have, or experiences with sleep paralysis. Like I do write a lot about my dreams, but sometimes I just like I'll get like all these words coming into my head, and I gotta write them down, and I'm not always sure what I'm writing about right away, and I gotta keep writing things down as they come in, and by the end of the song, by the time I figured out what chords I want to play and all the words I want in it, usually by that time I know what it's about at least a little bit.
Good.
So do your words come first, or the music, or is it just different with every song?
I usually have like a melody in mind when I hear all the words coming in.
Okay.
Yeah, but not like specific chords or anything like that.
So your songs are kind of based in your personal experience?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who else writes songs in this group?
Well, Finn wrote the first song.
Yeah.
What's your process
how do you
like?
write?
Everyone is different, but my way of doing it is if I don't finish it in one sitting, I will never come back to it. So every song that I've written with this band and my other band, I wrote them all in one sitting, couple hours, 30 minutes. Usually it's brought out by some strong feeling, or like I get something stuck in my head. I'm like, I need to write this down, but yeah,
Okay.
I have to write it immediately, or I'm not gonna come back to it.
It seems like that's a lot of great songs come that way with writers. When you talk about some big popular song, they say, "Oh, I wrote it on a piece of paper in an elevator."
Interesting.
Yeah.
Anybody else write, or do you guys collaborate?
Silas writes a lot.
Yeah, I walk around writing down things that I see in this horrible little book. It's been just disheveled over time, but yeah, I just get like phrases and stuff stuck in my head, quotes that people say, things that I see that I think are odd. But most of our songs off the originals, I was basically living on Luke's couch, and because I had a whole housing thing that did not work in my favor necessarily, and I would just.
You're homeless without saying.
Yeah. I stayed at Luke's house, and I was his I was his annoyance after work. So I would just be like, "Hey, let's go write some tunes, man." And you're like, "Oh, I gotta go to bed. I gotta wake up at 8," and so we would just sit there, and I don't know, like a little bit of influence from like outside artists and stuff that I've seen. Always just like listening to music and trying to fit all of that grand scheme together into like a formidable song, I guess. And I can't do poetry because it doesn't rhyme. There's no song to it, so I just can't just write words. It doesn't work that way for me.
So does come, because I see when we were sitting here before the cameras came on, you're always playing the guitar. Do you write with your guitar, or is it something you come back to with the words, or?
It's kind of a mixed bag, because like, I try not to put down my guitar, but I, obviously got commitments I gotta get to, work, school, all that, and so when I'm not annoying my partner with just playing random licks from like old bluegrass songs, I try to fit it together, and it doesn't always work. Like sometimes you just have to go with just a melody for a while before you do anything with like words, or sometimes you have the entire song written out and you're like, oh, this is easy, I can throw a song over it. And it doesn't always work. But I write with my guitar about half the time, I would say. Like, actually one of our most recent songs that I wrote, I just found this melody and then I was like, oh, this is sad. I can write a bunch of sad words.
So music first. What about you, Luke? Are you into writing yet, or is that something you're interested in?
Oh, he does it. He's trying to put out the sound.
Not really.
Oh, he wrote this entire score on his own, where we're still trying to this day to figure it out. And he's had it for like a year, and it's just this beautiful composition.
Maybe one day.
Sounds
I try,
good.
but I'm bad at
So
it.
you're writing it, but you're not really sharing it yet.
Yeah, I think it's more, I don't know how to share it. Like
Okay.
with that one specifically, like you ask me, oh, what are these chords? And I'm like, ooh. I don't know if that works here.
It sounds like genius, actually. Right?
It sounds like all of you are very inspired songwriters. You're not going and trying to think of a song that because you want to make a top 40 hit. So that's kind of cool. I mean, it's very artistic. We want to find out a few more things. We have to hear another song, though, and then when we come back, we want to find out where we can find your music and where we can find you guys playing live. So what's your next song going to be?
I think this next one is C Song,
C song?
which is the letter C.
The
song.
letter C song?
C for cookie.
Okay, C is for cookie.
It's a little
All right. We've got Hemlock Chaser here. They're going to do the C song on Waupaca Local Live. song was fantastic, and I have to say I wasn't really thinking about cookies, but what I was thinking about was your level of musicianship. It was really fantastic, very well arranged, and really, really, really tight. So congratulations, that was great.
Yeah, I like
Right.
how you're all standing around, you're looking at each other. You know the song, but you also know what the other person is doing.
Yeah, you're connecting.
Changes every time. It's kind of fun that way.
Yeah.
Well, you're like one organism,
Oh, yeah.
which is really cool.
Yeah, different situations.
Yeah.
I happened to catch you guys at basically a house party here in Waupaca.
Was that the
And,
Adelier?
it was
Yeah,
fun because
yeah.
it was a different situation. The stage was interestingly lit, and you guys were there, and you were an organism and making your song.
Like a
making
sea
music.
anemone, right? In that room.
Thank you.
So the biggest question is, where can we find you? Where are you playing mostly? What are some of the venues that you have coming up? Are
Where
you
can we
going
find
to
your music?
festivals?
So we're kind of in the process of getting like a mastered album out there. We have stuff on Spotify that we recorded before we had Sheila in the band.
Okay.
On a tape recorder, and we didn't even know what we were playing half the time. So avoid that one.
Because it's charm.
Yeah.
I like it.
But the other album that we have up is a live recording done by our friend Taper John at Jack Pine, where we got Sheila in there, and then also like some other songs that we're not playing today, and just that one's a little bit more comprehensive.
So are you're like on a timeline to do an album? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
It's good. It's like
We have a couple recording projects going right now, but we definitely hope to have an album recorded in time for the summer.
Oh, great.
So
For the bluegrass season?
yes,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
yes.
And
Green
awesome.
grass.
You're on Facebook.
Yes.
Hemlock
Yeah,
Chaser
okay.
on Facebook. I know
Yeah.
that.
And then you're part of the whole bluegrass consortium where all the Jack festivals happen all summer, right?
Oh yeah, we're up and comers for it, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, we had our time last year, but we're kind of getting into like more of the scene.
Okay.
I think we're playing Flat Rock.
Yeah, we're doing Flat Rock in June. That's up at a new location in what is it? Armstrong Creek, Wisconsin,
Yeah.
I think,
Okay.
up north. And we're doing a new fest that's in Medford.
Oh,
It's the weekend after the 4th of July.
okay.
And,
So do you like playing with to a bigger preset audience that's there, maybe there for another band, but you got to prove yourself?
I mean, I'll speak for myself here, but I love playing for anybody. I love playing for myself. I love playing for a crowd. I love playing
Yeah.
for 4 people who want to, see what's going on. Like, I love play anytime.
I'd say there's definitely a different energy between, like Jack Pine or like one of the fests where there's a bunch of people, you're on a big stage, versus like a house show where it's
house
really
show, yeah.
intimate. And
For busking.
you might have, 20 people there that are just going to listen in. Maybe you don't even have amps. I like both of those, but they're definitely a lot different.
I'm going to look forward to, for a year from now, just having an album. And I mean, I can't imagine you getting much tighter, but we'd love to have you back,
We'll
maybe
see.
in
I
Waupaca.
can imagine it.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the last song going to be?
This one's called Critters Die, which I got the idea from one of my NRES classes because I had this professor who was trying to explain like the lifeline of animals and how sometimes animals they die. And that's it. There's no specific reason for it. And I just got the idea and I was like, that's hilarious. I'm gonna make a song about that.
Critters
Wow.
die.
Critters die, yeah.
I like the term up and comers. Like on the fest stage.
All right.
And here tonight, we're first seeing you here on Waupaca Local Live.
Right.
So
Thanks for
thanks for,
having
Awesome.
thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
You ready? You ready? Oh my god.
tragedy. Wake up to your decay. Oh yes, that same old way. God and that light, one wrong step tonight. Oh, that's how critters die. Love no one else, compassion for yourself. It'll drag you straight to hell. And when you get there, oh yes, you best beware. They won't treat you fair. But you'd be damned, your soul they demand. Oh, you best take that hand. And hey, if you don't, they'll violate your soul. Oh, that's how critters die. Yes, time moves fast, but you still hold on. Drinks are spilled, but the record still on. You only listen to yourself, your own song. Rise, clever, but your mind will be gone. So when you meet him, there's no telling when. Don't you lie of your sin. We all meet his gaze, serve as his brimstone slaves for the rest of your days. But if your luck don't cease, he'll mock you as a beast. That's right, it's stone flesh. You'll wreak havoc and death. Oh baby, you'll be next. So if you see us outside, maybe take the devil for a ride. If I not fair, I die. I lost my pick like midway through it, and I was like,
Oh no!